Mate, it was a pretty dismal effort on the weekend. I think we only finished with 45 points, but to be honest, we both probably saw it coming ahead of the weekend.
Oh, yeah, it was a really tough day out, but I think it was probably on the cards. West Coast coming off a pretty demoralising defeat the week before against Collingwood, and we're going over there with a pretty understrength side. No Zorko. A few of those younger boys getting the rest for the last few games of the season, which I think is a good thing. We want them to be fresh going into the last 4 games, and hopefully they can get us over the line in a couple of games at least. So, yeah, it was a pretty rough day. I think we started okay, but, yeah, West Coast, they are known to be flat track bullies, and so it proved over in Perth. That was a game that they're never going to lose, and it was just a matter of probably how much they would get up by. They just don't lose too many over there, and, yeah, a good side there.
Certainly not at home either, but we did, as you said, start well. I think it was 4-3 to 3-2 at quarter time, but then after that we just couldn't kick a score and only finished with another 20 points for the game. But there were some positives to come out of it. Obviously, Dane Beams had a big game and probably his best game since he came back from that shoulder injury, finishing with 41 touches. And importantly, 14 of those were contested, which probably hasn't had the balance he has had since coming back into the side from that injury.
Yeah, he was absolutely fantastic. 41 possessions. Laid the 6 tackles as well. He was in everything, and yeah, like you said, he's probably struggling a bit coming back from that injury, and he did come back very soon, so it's completely understandable, but he'd probably been a bit off knowing what we've come to expect from him. But yeah, fabulous game and really led from the front, and it's just going to be really exciting if he can just keep himself fit for the next few years. It's hard because he has had so many injury troubles and doesn't seem to get a good run at it, but yeah, he's just a really good player, and he has to be up there. One of the best players in the competition, I think.
Yeah, for sure. He certainly started the year in that sort of fashion and had me thinking even potential Brownlow shots in those first few games, but then slowed down a bit. But there's no doubting his quality. A few other blokes we should probably give mention to, and who I ranked as our second and third best players, despite copping a bit of criticism throughout the year. Daniel Rich had 32 at about 90% efficiency, and probably his best game for the season. And also Ryan Bastanak, I thought, was pretty impressive with 28 odd touches and a fair few tackles as well, 7.
Yeah, 7 tackles.
Yeah. So
no, he was great, Bastanak. And Rich, I think that was one of his best games for a very long time, 32 possessions, and just getting more of the footy in space and able to kick, because, yeah, he has had a lot of his footy just really coming off probably kick-outs or just under extreme pressure. But yeah, to get the 32 possession, 20 of them kicks, he can kick it more often than not. It's going to be a really good thing for us. And it's interesting, we ended up with, I think, 29 more possessions than West Coast, and yeah, we probably overused it at times. Overdid it with the handball just because the pressure they were creating. But yeah, there have been plenty of games this year where we've had more of the footy. It's just being able to use it properly.
And just turnover at, I think, critical times as well. That sort of opens things up going the other way. But just sticking on Daniel Rich, I think it should be no surprise that his recent good form sort of coincides with Witherden getting in the team.
Yeah,
good
call.
I think he's been able to really take some of the kicking duties and take some heat off Rich. And Rich, going forward, he kicked a goal and hit the post on another one last week and had, I'm just trying to find the stats, inside 50s, had 5 on the weekend and 7 rebound 50s. So, yeah, probably just getting more up the ground and not being stuck in the forward pocket, or the back pocket. So,
that's a great call.
Huge thumbs up for Witherden, who backed up his run of, his hot start to his career with 28 touches. And you brought up the stat that you saw this week.
Yeah, so 7th VFL AFL player to start his career with 20 disposals in each of his first 6 matches, which is quite incredible and just speaks to how good of a start he has had to his career. And the more you look at it, where he's taken in the draft, it just seems like an absolute steal now. Just the injury he had, it obviously set him back quite a bit and probably scared off a few clubs. But, so glad to have got him to the club. He's been absolutely incredible.
One of the easiest money-making opportunities next year will be him to win the Rising Star, because he will still be eligible next year because he won't have played the maximum games. So bank him in to win the Rising Star next year, I would have thought. We had a few debutants to watch in their first games for the year. We'll start with Jacob Allison, who's a product of the Brisbane Lions Academy. He was pretty lively, had 20 touches, and went at about 75% efficiency. What did you make of his start to his career?
Oh, he's terrific. He looked really assured, and yeah, he's obviously come through the academy, and I think he grew up in Victoria a bit and then moved to Queensland at an early age. But yeah, he's just a terrific young player, and that academy keeps turning out some really good prospects. So yeah, 20 possessions, 6 kicks, 14 handballs. He had a really good start. So much promise there, and I can't really recall a guy that's come in this season for his first game that hasn't really shown a lot. It's just been incredible. All the guys have come in and had really good first games, which is pretty promising. And obviously Sam Skinner as well. He's had so much bad luck in such a short career so far. He's had 2 knee reconstructions before playing his first AFL game, but everyone you speak to, all the talk about him is just he's such a mature guy, and he's a really, really good person on and off the field. And to come in and just show that resilience, come back from his second knee reco, doing it at training before he was supposed to play his first game. I think it was almost a year to the day he was supposed to come in for his debut, and hit 2 goals and looked really promising. And I think he's going to be a great prospect for us going forward. And yeah, he can play at both ends. So he's a great player, and just fingers crossed he can have a good run with injury.
It's definitely one of the feel-good stories of the year, was him getting his debut after, as you just said, the heartbreak he went through last year, and also the knee injury he had before he was even drafted. That set him back as well. But yeah, as you said, 2 goals and one absolutely fierce tackle, and I think it was Will Schofield. He just absolutely nailed him. And I just liked the way he sort of leapt the ball and attacked the contest. Like, I thought he was really impressive up forward, and probably, I don't know about you, but I was pretty surprised to see him start up forward. I thought the sort of Dan McStay swap would have been a straight swap, but Josh Walker ended up going back. But what it has done for both of those players is create a big headache at selection this week, because we had 5 guys that are best 22 miss out last week for rests and suspensions, and McStay was injured, and they're all got the green light to come back. So we're going to try and work our way through how we fit those 5 into the squad. I guess we'll start with Zorko. He's the main one that's going to come in. Who makes way for Zorks, do you think?
It's such a tough one. All these guys going out are going to be very unlucky, but I think even though it was his first game of the season, probably Jared Jansen will go out. He had 11 possessions and didn't really set the world on fire. He was okay.
Yeah, I don't think he was bad. It's just...
No, he definitely wasn't bad. It's just...
No, I agree with you.
You've got to take some... Zorko's obviously coming straight back in.
Yeah, he's pretty unlucky.
No question about that. But yeah, super unlucky, Jared Jansen.
I think I completely agree with you, by the way. I think the hardest decision will be what to do with Dan McStay, because Sam Skinner slotted in pretty well, and Josh Shackey, I thought, played pretty well. He could have ended up with 3 or 4 had he, different day. And even Michael Close, I thought, presented pretty well. So I'm really not sure what to do there. Like, Dan McStay, I think, has been terrific, and there's no doubt comes back in. I just don't know who for.
I think Fagan's going to go the long game on this one, and I don't think he's going to drop either Skinner or Allison, especially after playing so well.
So you're going Close?
Yeah, I'm going Close.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he's been very unlucky, because I think he's never been bad any time he's come in. He's never been, you're just like, okay, he's had a shocky here. He deserves to go back to the NEAFL, but yeah, I think he might be a bit unlucky. Michael Close.
Well, the other key tall is Eric Hipwood. So, how do we fit that one in, mate? It's really hard. Like, we're obviously on the bottom of the ladder and struggling, so you can't say that everyone set the world on fire and deserves a spot. But
Yeah, it's very tough though.
Yeah,
Probably Josh Walker.
You reckon?
Josh Walker's been really good. He's been playing at both ends, but Hipwood's got to come back in. He's that X factor, and they obviously rested him for a reason because they see him playing the last 4 games of the season.
Yep.
And obviously he's a massive part of our future.
Well,
so another key position player, probably Walker.
I suppose the question that comes out of that is if you're going to drop Close and Walker, who's going to do your relief rucking? Would you throw someone like Sam Skinner in for a bit of ruck work, or get Hipwood in there?
Yeah, ideally you wouldn't want to put either in.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to put Hipwood in, and obviously Skinner's had the troubles with his knees as well, so you wouldn't want to put him in that and ruck roll and expose him a bit. So it is a difficult one. But, they're probably the only options, really.
And, by the way, I do think Josh is pretty hard done by. I think against Carlton he certainly started well before he got a bit of an injury, and then, he didn't probably add a lot down back on the weekend, but I think he's just sort of a bit vulnerable to his own flexibility in a way. Like, you had to accommodate Skinner and Close and Shaki on the weekend, so he got forced back. But in reality, he probably played his best footy up forward last week and the weeks before that. We'll move on to the next couple of guys. So we got McGluggage and Berry. What are your thoughts on who goes out?
Well, I think these are the tougher ones. Potentially Jake Barrett, even though I thought he played okay. But I think maybe, McLuggage in for Jake Barrett.
I tend to agree. Like, I love what Jake's done this year, how he's played as that pressure forward. But I think if we're going to hold on to Ben Keags in the team for this week, I thought it was a bit fumbly at times. I think maybe you could play him in that sort of role.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is tough though. Like, you're really sort of pulling at hairs here to make it all fit. The other one I was going to throw up, he's had some pretty good footy this year, but I think he was definitely exposed pretty badly at times on the weekend, was Matheson.
Okay.
I think defensively, he just didn't run defensively and got left wanting. I think Sam Mitchell left him in his wake at one point on the weekend, which isn't the best indicator, is it, when Sam Mitchell, on his last leg is getting away from you? But it comes back to that point. This is really difficult.
I probably agree with you there. Matheson maybe needs a rest. He's played a bit of footy now.
He's been good.
Yeah, he's been good, but someone's got to go out. So
the other one we might speculate on is there was a bit of talk that Rockcliffe might be done. Like, his shoulder's sort of worsened a bit over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And I think there's a bit of thought that maybe just get him in for surgery. So there might be a change that's actually forced. And I think even on the weekend, like, he still had 18 touches, but he seemed to be more forward of the ball.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they were protecting him a bit. But
all the talk before the game was just he's going to be off the chain. He's going to be doing the tagging role this week. But I think he was. He did still lay the 9 tackles, which just shows his intent.
Yeah.
On the footy, despite having a sore shoulder, he's got a team high 9 tackles, which is pretty incredible. I think we're running him in a game high.
Yeah, maybe.
It's extraordinary. It is a game high, actually. So extraordinary stuff from Rocky. But that's probably an interesting call.
And he's 150th as well.
Yeah, he's 150th. So if Rocky's done for the year, then that makes it a bit easier for the coaching staff and the selectors.
All right. Well, I think we worked our way through that reasonably well. So that, of course, is in preparation for the Bulldogs this weekend. And I think before last weekend, we were both pretty bullish in our chances, but they played some pretty damn good footy against Essendon on the weekend.
Yeah, all the talk after the game, I think it's their consecutive win, and they've actually... Well, they're not... I don't think they're in the 8 right now, but they're really making a big push for it, and obviously they're going to get a sniff of the finals action. All they needed was 7th place last year to get the premiership, so they know how important just to even make it in the finals is now with the bye after round 23. So, they played some of their best footy. Bontempelli got back to some of his best form, and they're going to be really hard to beat, but I think we're still a chance. They have just had that season where you think, okay, they've flipped the switch now, they're going to be back to that premiership winning form, that hunger, and then they've slipped up again. So at the Gab, I think the guys are going to think this is a very winnable game. We played really well against them early in the season, just faded out. But we're a much better side since then, and I think we would have learned a lot since then in a lot of games. So it's going to be an interesting game, but the Bulldogs are going to come up with their season on the line.
Yeah, it's certainly one to, I think, go into pretty optimistic. As you said, our form against them earlier in the year, we certainly started like a house on fire. I think that was the game I lost for the team because I rocked up at half time, and then
it was indeed.
We didn't kick a goal or anything, something like that. But so I think, and even that first half, we sort of exposed them a bit. Like there was certainly a game plan there that caught them out. So I think, personally, I'm pretty confident in that Fagan's going to implement a winning strategy. But I think what it always comes back to with our team is how long we can implement that and how long we can stay in the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So certainly one that I'll go into pretty optimistic this weekend. One thing that we were going to talk about earlier in the year but didn't get a chance, but we've got a bit of time now, so I'll pose the question. Out of our current team, if you had someone, this is like the old pub question, someone in our team to kick for your life, current player, we'll do current and past player, but we'll start with current. Who would you pick?
Oh, it's a really tough one. Especially, I've got more of an idea of past players, but the current team, I just think Hipwood.
Would you? Okay.
Yeah, he just has that.
He's a pretty damn
good kick. He
good
always gets the comparison with Buddy Franklin, and you just go back to Buddy Franklin when he really announced himself in that 2007 elimination final against Adelaide, just drilled one from about 60 metres out on the boundary line.
Yeah.
I think it was about 20 seconds to go and one horse on the game, and I think Hipwood's got capabilities to do that, something like that as well. So
he's a beautiful
He's a star. He's an absolute star, and I'd back him in. But Dane Beams is another one.
I would have gone Dane Beams.
Captain. He knows how to win big games. He's played in the premiership before, so I think Hipwood followed closely by Dane.
Beams is someone that strikes me as just a really clutch player as well. Like if he was kicking for your life, I'd be pretty happy knowing that he'd step up to the plate, and he's just a goal sneak as well. Like he loves a goal. Like Zorko, I think, is another one, but I think Beams probably just edges him out in terms of that clutch ability and stepping up to the plate. But Zorko, in terms of like a goal sneak, is probably up there. Yeah, I like your Hipwood though, because I think if the situation was set shot or even general play, you'd probably back him in from anywhere.
Yeah.
Who's your all-time one? You were pretty certain about that.
Well, not certain as in the play, but I had a few lined up. But I think John O'Brien just proved throughout his career that he could just do it. There's so many times he just went back and just had to take the clutch kick and deliver every time. That one against
Sydney? Yeah, I was thinking
right on the boundary line, just a ridiculous shot, 55 metres out, just perched on the boundary line, and he just went back, slotted it, got a draw out of that one, I think.
Yeah, it was a draw.
2007, I think. From memory.
My memory of that is like he didn't even look to pass it. He straight off just went, no, I'm kicking this.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and just drill it.
Do you have any other?
Yeah, I've got a couple other ones. Acker wasn't the best set shot. He obviously did his best work on the run, either foot from outside 50, but he is just the ultimate clutch player. He's one of the best clutch players you'll ever see. So I think if he had the set shot, he would just nail it.
I like that one. I would have gone the same with you, Brownie. I think his set shot was just so reliable later in his career. I don't know if you remember early days in his career, but I remember watching him and you sort of wouldn't know where the ball was going to end up. You'd think, oh, God, where's this going? But over time, he developed into one of the moral certainties in front of goal.
Mm-hmm.
And just, as we've talked about, that, that clutchness as well. I reckon the best kick I've ever seen still is Josh Drummond. He was, I think, featured in a throwback Thursday last week. And just that game against West Coast when Polks kicked the torp. Drummond that day is his only game he's ever got 3 Brownlow votes, and he kicked 3 or 4 goals or something. But yeah, I would have probably thrown in Voss as like that sort of clutch player as well.
Oh yeah, there's so many stars from that premiership era where you could say confidently they would go back and nail it.
You could almost throw in anyone in that premiership team and you'd be pretty happy.
But yeah, you're right with John O'Brien early in his career, but you just go back to those big moments, even second year in the 2001 premiership, he nailed a couple of really important goals at just crucial stages of the grand final. And tough shots as well. I think there was one in the third quarter we really needed. He was just tucked away on the boundary line and just went back and slotted it. So, yeah, he's just one of those guys that just loves a big occasion and just not overawed, just can go back and just do it.
Oh, some good choices there. We'll throw it out on social media as well and see what we come back with. We'll finish this week by wrapping up with AFL Women's, bit of AFLW news. So we had 8 players picked in the State of Origin team, or you can't really call it State of Origin because it's Victoria versus Allies, so it's just
All-Stars game, I guess.
Yeah, we'll call it an All-Stars game. But we had the most of any club, so Caitlin Ashmore's playing for Victoria, and then for the Allies we've got Frederick Traub, Emily Bates, Emma Zilke, Jess Wushner, Kate McCarthy, Leah Kasler, Sam Virgo, and our old friend Taylor Harris, who's also there. But
good old Taylor.
She doesn't count.
No, we won't give it too much.
So that'll be something to look forward to in September, early September. On that topic, do you think that's something that should come back to the men's competition?
Probably not, just because the season is so much longer. With the AFL Women's, it was only, 7 rounds this year and then a grand final. And the men's, you've just got the 23-round season and the finals as well. So I just don't think there's enough space on the calendar, or there's not enough urgency or want behind to bring it back. We had the game in 2008 for the big celebration. I think it's the 150th Australian rules celebrations, and that was a really great game, and it was great buy-in from the players, but I think it was just great as one-off. If you had it every year, I think it would just lose its luster a bit. But
I do like how they're doing it.
Maybe it could come back every few years or so.
I do like how they're doing it with the AFL Women's, though, because they're going to have it on that week, the bye week before the finals. And if they're going to have that
last year,
if they're going to have that bye week, which in my opinion is pretty stupid, but if you're going to have it, it's good to fill it up with something like this, and probably get us all excited for the next AFLW season, which probably wouldn't be too far after that. But yeah, I think you're right. I think if they tried to implement with the men, it'd just be forced. There'd be no culture there. There's no history.
Yeah,
that's what works well for rugby league. Is there's decades and decades of clashes. But
exactly right. And there's the history behind it, and it's almost, the State of Origin is almost bigger than the season itself.
Well, it is, because I don't know how closely you follow rugby league, but the narrative in NRL is if someone gets injured in a club game on the weekend, it's like, oh, will they be fit for Origin?
Yeah, exactly.
You can bet your bottom dollar if someone got injured in Origin, it'd be all about how Brisbane's premiership dashes are ruined because Beam's done his knee or whatnot. It's just not the same. So I think better left
not at all
untouched.
Yeah, there's always talk that it should come back, and another thing, you've just got Queensland versus New South Wales. That's the die-hard rugby league states. It doesn't really get a look in anywhere else. You got Melbourne Storm, but there's traditionally not that many players come out of Victoria. There's not a lot of pathways, but you've got that just dead set rivalry there, and it's just not the same if it's Victoria versus the rest, the All Stars. It's just nowhere near the same sort of rivalry. It's special with State of Origin rugby league, and I'm sure AFL fans wish we had something like that, but it just can't be replicated.
Yeah, I think it'd just be very manufactured in terms of the rivalry, and just wouldn't have the same passion and emotion behind it. Anything else you want to tick off before we sign off, mate?
Just looking forward to beating the reigning premiers end of their premiership run this weekend.
Yeah, I think we should all feel pretty good going into this game on Saturday. All right, mate. Until next time.
All right. Thanks, Keags.